Alright, time to end this nightmare of an adventure, but before we head to our ultimate doom, we gotta go check out the abandoned town of Kasuto once again. Last time we were here, we were being damaged by some unknown force. But this time, God is on our side, so we can see that the cause of our damage was just some Moas. I see you, you stupid flying grapes. Get it? ICU? Because they're eyes. And after I'm done with them, they'll need to take a trip to the ICU. Anyways, in this ruined town, we can find the final wizard of the game who says that he will teach us the most powerful magic, the Thunder Spell. The Thunder Spell is basically a screen nuke where it hits all enemies on screen with the strength of 2 level 8 sword attacks. Which, for those of you that don't know what that means, it will obliterate most enemies in one shot except for the ones that are coming up. Now that we have every spell in the game, it's time to make our way to that valley place that the king mentioned way back at the beginning of the game. What was it called again? Oh, right, the Valley of Death. Don't think that just because we're all the way at max level now that this game is going to get any easier. Zelda 2 was not programmed with mercy in mind. So as we make it through the Valley of Death and a couple of caves that suck, we will eventually arrive at the final palace. The Great Palace. The Great Palace truly lives up to its name. I mean, just listen to that soundtrack. It is also, quite frankly, the hardest challenge presented in the entire Legend of Zelda series. This palace is so brutal that if you wind up getting a game over here, the game doesn't send you back to North Castle, it will send you back to the entrance of the Grand Palace. Because even death is not an escape from the Great Palace. Anyways, the enemies in the Great Palace are insane. I mentioned them earlier, but this place is crawling with Fakas. Fakas earn their name by being iron knuckles that can jump high. Believe it or not, this makes them darn near impossible to kill. There ain't nothing tougher than a Faka in the Zelda universe, and you can quote me on that. Anyways, to even try to describe how to get through this place can feel like a fever dream at times. The map to this place can't even be properly laid out because of how much this place warps the fabric of reality. There are several instances where you just gotta know that there's a hole in the wall that you can go through in order to progress further in the palace. How anyone was able to figure any of this out is beyond me. Just try to keep in mind that you'd want to keep going down. Because this place is just a giant metaphor for the never ending downward spiral of life. Look, Nintendo, I just play games to relax. I don't play them for whatever this is. Anyways, after an incredibly miserable experience that I don't think this video is going to do justice with how long it is, so here's a video of a crying kitten with sad music playing to get the point across. You'll come to a collapsing bridge suspended over lava. If you cross it, you'll eventually hit a dead end. So instead, be sure to fall into this one tile hole so that you can be brought to the room that is right outside the boss's room. Make sure you have full magic and life before proceeding any further, otherwise you might as well feed yourself to Gleeok right now. Prepare yourself, for now it's time to face off against the guardian of the Great Palace, Thunderbird. Thunderbird is invincible at the beginning of the fight. The only way you can get him into a state of vulnerability is to cast the Thunder Spell, which normally obliterates an enemy, and all it does for him is show his face. Now, in order to cause damage, we must do the one thing that this game has taught us to do so far, and stab this boss in the head. I should mention that thrusting does not work. You can only stab him. I would highly recommend using the shield and jump spells. I'm not sure how you're expected to beat this fight without them. With all that being said, Thunderbird is not that hard of a fight. I think they were really banking on the idea that kids wouldn't catch on to the fact that you need to use thunder on Thunderbird. So once you beat Thunderbird, he drops a key, and this allows you to enter the final room of the game, where you'll come face to face with, oh, hey, look, it's the old man from the first game. Good to see you. It's been a while. Actually, Westy, that's. Shh. I'm well aware. Let me enjoy my headcanon that makes no sense in the universe. So the old man stands with the Triforce of Courage ready to give it to you, but he decides that you haven't quite been through enough of an ordeal yet. So he creates a shadowy doppelganger of Link to stand as the final boss of our long journey. Dark Link. Or Link's Shadow, but absolutely no one calls him that. This is Dark Link. The ultimate challenge. Truly, there could be no greater foe than yourself. With everything that we've been through, with all the skills we have gained on our journey thus far, it's time for us to take on this final challenge. Now, we can just absolutely cheese this fight by stabbing in this corner, but come on. You know me better than that. Let's earn the right to be called heroes of Hyrule. We are victorious. By vanquishing Dark Link, we have proven ourselves worthy of the title hero and are therefore worthy to wield the Triforce of Courage. The old man graciously gives us the Triforce of Courage, and we immediately teleport to North Castle. With the gathered powers of the Triforce of Courage, Triforce of Wisdom, and the Triforce of Power, we are able to bring an end to the sleeping Zelda's curse. She promptly wakes up and greets us, telling us that we saved Hyrule and that we're real heroes. Thanks. I would like to say that it was no sweat, but we all know I'd be lying. The curtain then descends on our two protagonists, who then share an incredibly intimate moment, by 80s gaming standards, anyways. Scandalous. Thus concludes the adventure of Link, a flawed game which is definitely the worst game in the Zelda series, but I think that says more about the Zelda series than it does about Zelda 2. I know I've been ragging on this game a lot, but I also admit that a lot of it has to do with the fact that this game never got a proper sequel where these ideas could be expanded upon, unlike what happened with the original. Anyways, we reach the end of the credits with the final screen of the game, which contains a heartfelt message from the developers. Thanks a million. And on that underwhelming message, that's where our adventure ends. Just kidding, you are given the option to play through the entire game again, where this time around things are much, much easier. You start the game out with max stats and every spell unlocked. You also inherently know how to thrust in whatever direction you want. Honestly, if you're crazy enough to check this game out, I would highly recommend trying out this mode first, which you can do so by playing the special variant version on Nintendo Switch Online. It does make the game a bit more manageable, and I'd recommend it over playing through the game normally. Just try not to use the spells until you get to the point where you unlock them normally. Unless, oh, are you telling me that you're looking for a challenge? Well, excuse me, princess. Knew I had to fit it in somewhere, and this was my best option.